Well, good afternoon folks. It's smack on 4:15. I'll kick off this blog by saying apologies if my voice sounds a bit croaky, but I'm absolutely filled to the brim with cold this week, and so is my partner in crime this week on the bank, Mr. Rudge, Nick Rudge that is, who no doubt you've seen in blogs I've done over the previous half a dozen months. But we're on the banks of a water that I haven't fished for well over 10 years, and I can show this lake, which is a bit of a rarity for me, because the blogging I've been doing over the last few months, apart from France, I've been unable to show the lake, but I can do it in this one. And this venue is a venue just on the outskirts of Wolverhampton called Paul Hall. And I say a trip down memory lane. It's got to have been over 10 years since I fished this venue, and boy has it changed. For a start, we now have two lakes. The one that I'm fishing here is called Lower Lake. It used to be one big lake, but just beyond that tree there, obviously you can't see from this angle, there's a partition which forms another lake. So the lake has changed dramatically. Myself and Nick had a really good walk round and a speak with the owner. We've been here for about 2 or 3 hours, to be quite honest. Done a real good recce, and we've just got the rods out. I've got two rods there, left and right hand rod, on Snowman Presentations, and the right hander is on an Achy Choddy, and that's on one of Mark Bryant's Scent from Els. I was hoping to use one of my CM1 cork ball pop-ups, but I've gone and left them at home, so that ruled that out of the equation. But I'm quite happy to use one of Mr. Bryant's pop-ups, so there you go. And I'm going to use that rod, the Choddy rod, as a bit of a roving rod, so keep my eyes peeled on the water. Any signs or showing fish, it's one of them, and you can just reel it in and bang, it's on top of them. The time that I've been here setting up, which has taken me around about 45 minutes, because I had to swap the rigs over and do little bits and bobs, I've just seen the first signs of activity, which is I've just seen two fish absolutely bosh out right in the open water to my left, right in front of Nick, so that's a good sign. But picking the owner's brains, he's told us that this lake's the one that's been fishing really well all year. This holds fish up to the excess of £30. There's some cracking commons in here. There's a few originals. So fingers crossed, we're going to winkle one out. We had the first frost of the year, well, the first real severe frost last night. Woke up this morning and everything was white over. So I haven't actually seen the forecast for tonight, but I think it's going to be another frost this evening. It's not too bad at the moment. It's going to be dark in about 15-20 minutes. I'm quite warm at the moment because I've been moving about and I've got plenty of layers on. One, trying to keep warm, and two, I'm trying to sweat this cold out. But yeah, it was really comfortable at the moment. Obviously when we sit down and have a brew and have a chat and what have you, it may go a bit colder, but I'm prepared for that, and I just love being there on Bankside. It's whatever weather, providing it's liquid, I'm fishing. End of. So I just thought I'd get this little bit of footage in whilst we got a bit of light. I would have liked to have started the blog a bit earlier, but as I say, we had a good recce, and I've just found the time now to do this opening blog piece. Incidentally, the Snowman Presentations, I'm using Fizz, and I'm using a white bottom bait on the left hand rod, and that's exactly the same bait, just on a bird food base. That one's got a pink pop-up tipper on it, and this one's got a white one. Little bags with crush baits, and just scattered about 10 or 15 baits over it. I'm just going to fish for a bite. Obviously this time of the year you ain't going to be piling it in, so I've put 15 baits on that one, and on the right hand rod on the Snowman presentation I think I put about 20 in. So I've heard there's a good head of fish in here, so the gaffer reckons we're in for a shout log. Is he saying that, or does he mean it? Only time will tell. But yep, as always, we'll try and get as much as we can in the blog, hopefully some fish and anything else of interest. So if you don't see us again today, which is Wednesday, incidentally we're here till Friday, so we've got quite a bit of time on our hands. Yeah, we'll see you when we see you. So just have one more look at the lake before darkness falls. Incidentally, there was well, it was apparent that there was quite a lot of Canadian weed in this lake. That's slowly starting to die off now, but that ain't a problem. Canadian's actually a good weed to put a bait in. So I've got little bags on, and both hook baits are foamed up to match the hook point. So I'm more than happy with my presentations. So hopefully the carp in this lake are going to oblige, and we're going to have something to show you folks. So just approaching 5 to 4, I'm signing off until the next update. Well then folks, it's just gone, what we got, a minute past 7. It feels around about midnight, but got to get used to these long nights. Kettle's just boiled, so I'm going to knock that off. There we go. Those legs there are Mr. Rudge.
Hello folks.
Bit blurred, there you go mate. Well, that's the scene so far, if you can just make that out. I sound a little bit better. Some of the congestion, we're a bit blurred and out of focus at times, sorry folks. Yeah, the congestion's easing, so that's good. Just thought we'd give you a little bit of an update. There's a hell of a lot of wildfowl on this water, but since the last time I did the blog, the opening piece in the blog I should say, we've seen another, what, how many mate? 4 or 5 shows?
Yeah, definitely. The strange thing is they're right out in front of us as opposed to being a lot further out. They're only about, what, 3-4 rod lengths out?
They ain't far, are they?
Not far at all.
So that's a great sign that these fish are active. You won't be able to make it out. It's physically impossible. I'll try and show you, but nah, it's impossible. There's a lovely wind blowing to our left, isn't there, Nick?
Yeah. And it's not a really cold wind, you know, there's not really a cold bite.
No, it's...
which is, again, that's also a good sign, I believe. So.
But we were warm when we were setting up, but that's pretty much the norm, because obviously you're active and you're getting all your gear ready. But we've been fishing now for a good, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours, yeah. And it is fresh, but...
to start with, but that wind's, it's not blowing so much now.
No.
So it's not, we're not feeling it as much as we were.
No, it's not mega uncomfortable, is it?
No, not at all.
But so with the early signs then, mate, are you, what's your feeling? You confident?
As confident as can be. I mean, it's our first night, so I'm just learning about the water because it's been like 15 years.
Excuse me, I'm just going to cough. Excuse me, folks. Yeah,
it doesn't happen tonight. I've got a whole day ahead of us tomorrow to obviously suss the area out and apply a bit more bait and see what happens then. So,
yeah, well, I was just going to...
Hopefully, it'd be nice if one of us or both of us have something tonight or
definitely, mate. What I was going to say was, I mentioned this was a trip down memory road, and it is for Nick also, because we haven't been down here for... I think, Nick, you did a session here a bit early on this year.
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that, yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't been here for a good 10 years, but the one thing I did want to add, which I didn't add in the opening piece, was for anybody who knows Rob Hughes and Simon Crowe, who are local big names in the world of carp fishing, they actually cut the teeth on this water. Yeah. So...
It was actually very renowned on the carp circuit, especially for one particular fish, a common known as umpy, which, believe it or not, for this neck of the wood, for where we are now, £40.
So you're going a bit out of focus, mate.
So I mean,
I can just make yes it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. I mean, I reckon it could be longer. I say 10 years. It could have been.
I reckon it's been about 14, 15 years, if I'm honest.
Well, I was still working in the tackle shop when I was fishing this, and I've left there over 13 years. So
the last time you came down here with me was when I actually got my
yeah,
good old sports car stuck.
We've had a laugh and a joke about that today, because we was actually fishing with a couple of guys who were customers in the tackle shop that I used to work in, and thankfully that day, Mike's dad, a lad I know quite well, he had a Land Rover, didn't he, Nick? And if he didn't have that Land Rover, I think it'd have still been stuck there now.
Yeah, I think it'd still been there. It'd probably been a rusty shell standing out in the field now.
But we've had a really good... we was fortunate, really, when we... you've gone out of focus again. It's terrible, this camera is in low light conditions. There you go. We was fortunate when we arrived, because about 10 minutes after we pulled up in the car park, a lad who's a local here, he pulled up, and he's been fishing it all summer. And he basically took us for a trip around the lake, didn't he, mate, and showed us all the swims. And
nice chap.
he was really nice, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he said he might be popping back. Well, he said he was going to fish it Friday night, but he was very tempted after having a chat with us for a good 2 hours that he might come down Thursday. So you never know. If he's not camera shy, folks, I'll try and get him in the camera, because he was only a young lad. I don't think he'd been carp fishing long, but brilliant. And he's give us a big thumbs up, anyway, mate. Yeah, which is, that's what it's all about, isn't it? If you don't know and you want to get an idea and a picture, you can't get any better than A, the lake owner, and 2, the locals who fish it.
Yeah.
So,
believe it or not, we've just had some spots of rain.
Yeah, I don't know if you can just hear the pitter patter on the top of my brolly, but there's a little bit of rain in the air, but it's just nice to be here, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, oh god, yeah, definitely.
To be honest, Monday evening I spoke to Nick, and he was as bad as me. He had rivers of mucus coming out of his nose and sore throat.
Yeah.
I felt like I swallowed a rose bush. It wasn't looking good, was it?
No.
With
But I just thought, well, you ain't going to do it from in bed, am you?
well, you ain't going to catch him at home, anyway. Yeah.
Catch him.
And neither of us like EastEnders, so.
No. I've had a row with my missus, so.
But there you go. We'll say no more on that one.
No more.
But so we just thought we'd do this little piece, folks. And it's just approaching, what, 7:10? Yep. So we've had our starter, which was hot dogs, and we've got a nice Mr. Dave's curry waiting for us in about an hour's time.
Yep.
So hopefully you'll see us during the night with a carp, but if not, the next time this camera will be switched on will be in the morning.
Yep.
So that's about it for this update. We'll catch you later, folks.